I'm about to show you 7 specific things that almost always get quietly deleted from her phone within just 30 minutes after every affair meeting. Not tomorrow, not next week, almost immediately. These aren't random deletions or routine phone cleanup. This is a carefully practiced digital cover-up she repeats every time. If you've ever wondered what's really happening during those long, quiet phone moments after she walks in the door, pay attention. What I'm about to share might forever change the way you see those harmless bathroom breaks after an outing. Most relationship advice warns you to look for red flags, but by the time you see one, the real evidence is long gone. What matters isn't just what you see, it's what's been erased. Stay with me.
Most relationship advice tells you to look for obvious red flags, but by the time you find it, months of evidence have already been erased. The real story is in what disappears from her phone while you're asking about her day. Every deletion is a conscious choice to deceive you, and understanding this pattern will protect you from months of gaslighting and confusion. The hardest part about modern affairs isn't just the emotional betrayal, it's the digital deception that makes you question your own sanity. She can look you in the eye and swear nothing happened because she's erased every trace of proof. But guilt and deception always leave patterns, and those patterns reveal themselves in what vanishes from her digital life. Deletion number 1. Location history and GPS traces. The first thing that disappears is always her digital footprint of where she actually went. She tells you she spent the afternoon shopping and grabbing lunch with her sister, but within minutes of walking through your door, she's systematically erasing every trace of her real location. She opens Google Maps and clears her recent search history. That hotel address she looked up this morning? Gone. The route she saved to that restaurant across town where nobody knows her? Deleted. Her location sharing that she turned off right before leaving conveniently stays off until after the cleanup is complete. But it goes deeper than just clearing obvious searches. She removes her location history from the past 6 hours, making sure there's no GPS trail showing she spent 2 hours at an address that definitely wasn't a shopping center. She deletes the route history from her navigation app, both the trip there and the rush home afterward. The sophisticated ones even delete automatic location stamps from photos they took during the meeting. That innocent selfie she sent him from his apartment? The metadata would show exactly where and when it was taken. So she deletes not just the photo, but any trace that her phone was ever at that location. The location data doesn't lie, which is exactly why it's the first thing to go. Every route searched, every place visited, every minute spent somewhere other than where she claimed to be. It all creates a digital map of her deception. And she knows that map is the most damning evidence against her carefully constructed alibi.
Pay attention to these digital gaps. If her location history has convenient holes during the exact time she claims to be running innocent errands, those gaps aren't accidental. They're intentional erasures of evidence you were never supposed to see. Deletion number 2. Recently deleted photos and videos. The second deletion target is visual evidence. Photos taken in his car, videos sent during their encounter, screenshots of their planning conversations. Everything that could visually prove where she was and who she was with gets wiped from existence. But here's what most people don't know about photo deletion. When you delete a photo on most phones, it doesn't actually disappear immediately. It goes to a recently deleted folder where it sits for 30 days. She knows this, which is why her bathroom cleanup session always includes emptying that folder completely. The really sophisticated ones take this even further. They use apps that automatically delete photos after viewing, or they take all affair-related photos on a second device that you don't know exists. Some even use their phone's private browsing mode to view photos without creating any saved history. The visual evidence cleanup extends beyond just photos. She deletes video calls from messaging apps, removes voice messages that reference meeting times or locations, and clears any visual trace of their encounter gets erased. I remember one case where she claimed to be at a wine tasting event with colleagues. She had photos of wine glasses and food that she'd posted on social media. But when we looked at the metadata, those photos were taken 3 days earlier at a completely different location. The real photos from that afternoon, the ones showing her in his apartment, had been permanently deleted within minutes of her return home. The photo cleanup reveals something crucial about her priorities. She's more concerned with hiding evidence of the affair than preserving memories of your relationship. While your shared photos remain untouched, anything connected to him gets erased like it never happened. Deletion number 3. Call logs and message threads. The third deletion target is communication evidence. Every text thread, call log, voicemail, and message notification that could reveal the timing and content of their communication disappears faster than she can claim her phone was on silent during lunch. She opens her messaging apps and deletes entire conversation threads with him. Not just individual messages, but complete chat history spanning weeks or months. Then she moves to her call history and removes evidence of 20-minute phone calls that happened right before or after their meetings. The timing would show coordination and planning that contradicts her spontaneous lunch with friends story. But the deletion strategy has evolved beyond simple message removal. She uses apps with disappearing message features for all their communication.
Every text, photo, and voice message automatically deletes after being viewed. This creates plausible deniability. She can honestly say there are no messages on her phone because the app deletes them automatically. The sophisticated communication cleanup includes multiple platforms. She clears conversations from WhatsApp, Telegram, Snapchat, and even professional messaging platforms like Slack or Teams if they communicate through work channels. Each platform requires separate deletion, and she's developed a routine that hits every possible communication avenue. What makes this deletion pattern so insidious is the timing. She's not just managing messages as they come in. She's conducting systematic cleanup operations that remove days or weeks of communication history in one session. The effort required reveals how much communication actually exists between them. Deletion number 4. Search history and browser data. The fourth deletion target reveals the planning and research phase of her deception. Her browser history contains a roadmap of preparation for the affair that she systematically erases after every encounter. She opens her browser settings and clears the entire search history, removing evidence of looking up directions to hotels, researching discrete restaurants for their meetings, and even searching for advice on how to conduct affairs without getting caught. The search history would reveal weeks of premeditation that contradicts any claims about the affair being impulsive or accidental. The research phase evidence is particularly damning because it shows calculation rather than emotional mistake. Searches for discrete hotels in their area, reviews of restaurants where they're unlikely to run into anyone they know, advice forums about maintaining long-term affairs. All of this reveals someone who's planned extensively rather than fallen into an emotional mistake. Some of the most revealing searches involve counter-surveillance techniques, how to delete location data, how to use messaging apps that don't leave traces, how to maintain separate social media accounts, even how to explain away suspicious behavior to unsuspecting partners. The irony is that the search for this information becomes evidence of premeditated deception. The browser deletion also includes clearing autofill information that might suggest places she's never admitted to visiting. When she types the first few letters of a location into her GPS app, it shouldn't autocomplete with hotels or addresses she's supposedly never been to. The autofill cleanup is crucial for maintaining her cover story. But perhaps most revealing are the searches that happen after the affair is established. Relationship advice about maintaining double lives, legal information about divorce proceedings, even searches for apartments or housing that suggest she's planning an exit strategy from your relationship. The affair isn't just about the other person. It's about engineering her escape from your life. Deletion number 5. App usage data and screen time records. The fifth deletion target is usage data that would reveal her actual activity during time she claims to be unavailable or busy with other things. Modern phones track exactly how much time you spend on each app and when, creating a digital timeline that often contradicts carefully constructed alibis. She opens her phone screen time settings and resets the weekly data, erasing evidence that she spent 3 hours on messaging apps during her supposed phone-free lunch with friends. The screen time data would show active communication during times she claims her phone was dead or on silent. The sophisticated ones turn off app usage tracking entirely for specific applications. They set app time limits that hide how much they're really using messaging platforms. Some even delete and reinstall apps regularly to reset usage statistics. Or they use multiple devices to distribute their digital activity across platforms you can't monitor. The screen time data also reveals behavioral patterns that don't match her claimed lifestyle. High usage of dating apps, extensive time on social media platforms she claims not to use, or hours spent on messaging apps during times she's supposedly focused on work or family activities. The data creates an objective record of where her attention actually goes. Banking app usage during times she claims to be cashless or away from stores can reveal transactions that contradict her stated activities. Maps app usage showing searches for locations she never mentioned visiting. Camera app usage during times she claims nothing interesting happened worth photographing. The most telling aspect of app usage data is how it reveals communication patterns. Spike in messaging app usage right before and after her outings, corresponding exactly with affair meeting coordination and post-encounter communication. Long periods of social media silence during meeting times, followed by sudden activity bursts that suggest she's catching up on missed notifications. Even fitness and health apps can contradict cover stories. She claims to have been at the gym, but her fitness app shows no recorded activity. She says she walked around the mall all afternoon, but her step counter shows she was stationary for hours. The objective data from health monitoring creates an unbiased record of her actual physical activity. The usage data cleanup has become so important that some people use specialized apps that hide or spoof usage statistics. They create false data that supports their cover stories while hiding their actual digital behavior. The effort required to maintain this level of deception reveals how extensive the affair really is. Deletion number 6. Financial transaction records and digital receipts. The sixth deletion target follows the money trail that affairs inevitably create. Every Uber ride to his place, every hotel charge, every dinner that wasn't actually with the friends she claimed to be meeting. All of this financial evidence gets systematically hidden or explained away. She opens her banking apps and archives notifications about transactions that occurred during her supposed innocent outings. That $40 charge at a restaurant across town doesn't match her claim about eating at the place around the corner with her sister. The parking fee downtown contradicts her story about shopping at the suburban mall. The sophisticated financial deception includes using cash for all affair-related expenses when possible. She withdraws money before meetings to avoid creating traceable electronic transactions. When electronic payment is unavoidable, she uses separate payment apps or prepaid cards that don't connect directly to accounts you might monitor. Uber and Lyft receipts are particularly revealing because they show exact pickup and drop-off locations with timestamps. She deletes these immediately after the ride, but the pattern of transportation expenses often reveals frequent trips to the same address that doesn't correspond to any friends or family you know about. Hotel charges are obviously problematic,
But even restaurant expenses can be revealing when they don't match her claimed activities. Lunch for two at an upscale restaurant when she said she was eating alone, or dinner charges on nights she claimed to be home early. The financial record often contradicts the timeline she's presented. Some people open entirely separate financial accounts to fund their affair activities. Credit cards you don't know about, checking accounts with different banks, even investment accounts that can be liquidated for affair-related expenses. The financial separation allows them to maintain completely separate financial lives. The most sophisticated financial cleanup involves using his resources to minimize her financial footprint. He pays for hotels, dinners, and gifts while she focuses on hiding the transportation and incidental costs that would reveal her participation. The financial arrangement becomes part of the operational security of maintaining the affair. Deletion number 7. Social media activity and digital social footprint. The seventh and final deletion target is social media evidence that could reveal the affair through interactions, location tags, or timeline inconsistencies. Every like, comment, story view, and social media interaction that could suggest a relationship beyond what she's admitted gets systematically erased. She opens each social media platform and clears her search history, removing evidence that she's been looking at his profiles, checking his location, or monitoring his activities. The search history would show obsessive interest in someone she claims to barely know or interact with casually. The location tagging cleanup is crucial because social media platforms automatically tag locations and timestamps for posts and stories. If her Instagram story shows her at a coffee shop across town during her supposed lunch nearby, the location data contradicts her alibi. She systematically removes or changes location tags that don't support her cover story. The story and temporary content cleanup is particularly important because these features create short-term evidence that might be overlooked until it's too late. Instagram stories, Snapchat posts, Facebook stories, all of these temporary content formats can reveal location and activity information that contradicts official cover stories. Friend connections and mutual social media relationships require careful management. If she suddenly becomes friends with people in his social circle, those connections might reveal how she knows them. The network effect of social media relationships can expose affairs through secondary connections that weren't carefully managed. The most revealing aspect of social media cleanup is the pattern of silence during the affair meetings, followed by bursts of activity afterward. Complete social media silence during the time she claims to be having so much fun with friends, followed by multiple posts and interactions that suggest she's catching up on missed social media obligations. Advanced social media deception includes using privacy settings to hide posts from specific people, creating custom friend lists that exclude you from certain content, or using features that prevent posts from appearing in your feed while maintaining the appearance of normal social media activity. What makes this cleanup so insidious is how routine and normal it appears. She's just checking her phone, responding to messages, or catching up on social media after being away for a few hours. The innocent appearance of the activity masks the systematic evidence destruction happening beneath the surface. By the time you're witnessing systematic post-outing phone cleanup, you're not dealing with paranoid suspicions or innocent behavior. You're observing the operational security protocol of someone maintaining a double life. Each deletion represents a conscious choice to deceive you about her activities, relationships, and priorities. The level of sophistication in modern digital cleanup reveals how established and routine the affair has become. This isn't someone who had an impulsive moment of weakness. This is someone who has developed systematic procedures for maintaining ongoing deception. The effort required shows how important hiding the affair has become to her daily routine. Your peace of mind is worth more than digital evidence, and your time is too valuable to waste on someone who's working this hard to deceive you. The message behind all these deletions is simple. She's protecting something she values more than your relationship, and that something isn't you. When someone's post-outing routine involves systematically erasing evidence of where they were and what they did, they've already shown you who they've chosen to become. The question isn't what she's deleting. It's whether you're ready to stop ignoring what all that deletion really means.